the interesting research showing that gap is increasing between male and female sexual interest. And unfortunately, women are more likely than they used to go off sex, and they're doing it earlier than they used to. I mean, I think there are really interesting cultural factors here.
What do you think is driving that?
I think we're sending such a strong message to women that they don't have to, they don't want to. It's all contingent on whether they feel like it. And there can't be any obligation. You should never take one for the team. You should never have sex for any other reason than your own desire. And I think that's crazy. Because, I mean, in fact, there was some really interesting research years ago by a Canadian professor who was working for years with women who had no sexual interest at all. And she found there were situations for many of these women where they could experience sexual pleasure even though they had no desire. I always talk about if you put the canoe in the water and start paddling, and you have to have a willingness to be receptive. So if you think, oh, this is not going to work for me, I'm not interested, I hate this, obviously it's not going to work. But if you think, oh, I know once I get over this initial feeling, I don't feel like it, if he's doing all the right things for me, so he has to know how to make love to her. And then desire kicks in later. And that was the interesting thing. You don't need desire at the beginning. It can kick in later. We didn't know that when I was taught 50 years ago. We thought you had to have desire for a woman to reach orgasm. That's simply not true. And I haven't met many women who know that if they can get their head in the right place and, work on turning themselves on in the sense of preparing, at breakfast time, go and have a massage, do little things that make them more relaxed, that make them start anticipating sex, send him little sexy messages, flirt. They deliberately work on getting in the right place because they want sex to remain part of their relationship. And that's on the one hand. On the other hand, women who say, if I'm not interested, it's not going to happen. It doesn't happen. And that is the most, the growing scenario in marriages today. Women having decided, I'm not interested, and sex just is off the agenda. I've heard from men who've gone for 20 years with no sex in their marriage. Absolutely hard. Not even, and of course what happens is, if you're not interested in sex, you often don't let him near you. You won't let him give you a cuddle because you think, oh God, he'll plague me then, You push him away, and what that's like for men to sleep next to a woman that they still desire night after night and never be even allowed to look at her. I mean, it's absolutely tragic.